of Africa. Nigeria we want. All for the land. Where's Nigeria? The Nigeria we want. With Vicky O Show. Yeah, me show the moon. Wale your light on. I've been see what shuku. The Nigeria we want. Where's Nigeria? On Vicky O Show every Saturday. The Nigeria we want. Where's Nigeria? The of Africa. Nigeria we want. Where's Nigeria?
Wow, hello everyone. This is Dr. Vicky O. I would like to welcome you to the Vicky O Show, the Nigeria we want. Welcome. I hope your Saturday is going well. It's evening time over here. We just would like to welcome you. Now, tonight, it's all about Olympics. It's evening time here. So if I kept saying tonight, this evening, just pardon me. It's evening time. So yeah, it's all about Olympics, how Nigeria athletes performed and all that is what we will be talking about today. But before we get into it, I would like to highlight our sponsor for today's show, and they are called Provision GSH Plus. So if you haven't heard of them, how about you research into what they are producing and how that is so beneficial to many people, especially at this time around the world that we're struggling with COVID. Provision has been proven to have the right ingredients to help your body, your system, to improve your metabolism. So it's got those right ingredients to protect you against external virus, as we call it now. So check them out. How is your energy? Do you struggle with having restful sleep? How is your immune system? Do you struggle with stress, concentration, and mental fatigue? GSH Plus is your answer. It's the answer that you need because the ingredients contained in GSH Plus formula may support your immune system, optimize your strength and energy, and it can empower your daily living. Provision GSH Plus can be ordered through the link we've provided. All you need to do is to send an email to Vicky O Show at gmail.com and somebody will respond to you if you're interested. That's about GSH Plus. Now, the second sponsor that I would like to highlight today, they called Capstone Medical Center, Bensdale, group of medical doctors doing great and wonderful things. They've been our sponsor from day one. Check them out. 515-27135. That's their number. They're able to provide telehealth, which means phone consultation with you, give them a call, 5175 3175. Okay, it's time to bring our panelist. Wale Olaiton, welcome to the Vicky O Show, the Nigeria we want.
Good evening, viewers.
Evening.
It's good to be back.
Always good to be back. Always good. And Mr. Nwachuku Igbokwenu.
Hey, thank you,
How
Vicky.
are
Yeah,
you day? How you
I'm
day?
well,
We've
thank you.
been we enter into our sixth lockdown, unfortunately.
That's that's the new way of living for us now. We just have to go with the flow. What
With the
can we do?
flow.
Yeah,
Exactly.
it's beyond our control. So yeah,
On
nothing can do.
Thursday, I traveled down to Bensdale, which is the regional area of Victoria, for about 4 hours drive from Melbourne. And by the time I got to, there wasn't any lockdown in the morning, but by the time I got to Bensdale, my destination, we already entered another 7 days lockdown, unfortunately.
Hmm.
I mean, it used to be a shock to my system. I'm just like, all right, whatever now. And I read just before we logged on that they're going to be extending the lockdown.
Yeah, I understand it's gonna go for. I don't know how far from unconfirmed sources. It's gonna go for another 30 days. I don't know how far
Another
that is.
30 days.
Yeah, yeah.
30 days. Goodness
Hmm.
me.
Hmm.
Okay. So
Yeah.
please go and get your COVID vaccine, oh, Mr. Elvis. Stop running from injection. Oh. The more people that get COVID vaccine, the better. Then we can be free because I'm tired of all these lockdowns.
No, I
But
refuse to be. I refuse to be thrown under the bus. I'm booked in for. I'm actually scheduled to go in for my job tomorrow. So save
oh,
your breath.
good, good. Give me high five, virtual high five. Well done. How about
Finally,
you?
yeah, I made the
How about
decision
you,
to go in.
Wale? Have you had yours?
I've had one, as I
Okay.
reported about 2 weeks ago,
Hmm.
and I'm due for my second one next week.
Okay. Did you get Pfizer?
I got Pfizer, so
Yeah.
and I'm due for the second one. Yeah, just over a week from now.
Okay. Cool.
So,
Cool.
I will be fully immunized and get my
Yeah. And
immunization passports.
yes, exactly. So, what do you
Yes.
think about? They're not talking about it here yet. Giving rewards to those that have it. I mean, there must be something to encourage people to get it. In Europe, there is a COVID passport. So when you have your COVID, you're able to travel. And I'm eager. I really want to travel. This isn't me. It's been almost 2 years of not going anywhere. So, what do you think about that idea? What they were doing or they still doing in Europe? Do you think it's a good idea?
I
I
think
think
it's a
it's
good
actually.
idea. Okay, sorry.
Yeah, go on, Wally. Yeah.
So whatever we can do to encourage people to do it, even if it takes any sort of form of incentive, like cash incentive to get people to get there and go get their jobs, so be it.
Incentive or bribery?
I would say that I would call it incentive.
Hmm.
And I think they're proposing the same thing in the US. I think
Mhm.
$100 incentive for people to really get up and get their jobs. And
Hmm.
some business owners and companies are getting so serious about it. I'm aware three, workers at CNN, they were sacked just a couple of days ago
Mm,
because I think they've been given the opportunity to go and take their jobs, and for whatever reason they chose not to.
mm,
So
mm.
they were sacked from their jobs. So it's getting really really serious.
Mm.
Yeah, but in December, even in the U.S., I watched on the news a few weeks ago. One of the states in the U.S. actually offered just more than handouts to people. They organized a lottery where somebody won $1 million.
Whoa.
Yeah, $1 million. Another, and then they had other packages like, you could win a holiday trip somewhere. You could win guns and just a lot of incentives to get people to go out there.
Wait, yes.
That's scary.
Oh well, it's legal. It's legal
No,
in the
no, no.
US. So
Oh my
yeah,
goodness.
hunting guns.
It's just the
Hunting guns.
contradiction, but that's a US. That is US for you.
Yeah, yeah. So the
Wow.
fact that if the government can replicate the same thing here, not giving out $1 million, but some sort of incentive to encourage people to go out there and get the job, I think it will do well for us, to do well for the entire country and the world at large.
Nora. So for all our viewers watching, what do you think about the COVID vaccine? There are so many conspiracy theories going around. But before I even go into that, I would like to ask our viewers, if you're watching us right now on whatever platform, if you're able to type, I have my COVID vaccine, or no, I'm not into it. Just type whatever, your answer is into the comment box, and somebody will win something tonight, whatever it is. I'm not going to show you. That's the secret. We will show you at the end of the show. Now, regarding the conspiracy theories going all over the place, what are your thoughts? Let's start with Wale.
I believe in science. I did sciences up to university, so my first degree and all that. So I believe in science. I believe in validity of science, and based on that, my knowledge about science, I believe that when it comes to issues like this, you should leave it to scientists to speak. Scientists, they've done all their research. Um, they've come up, methodically. They went through the process of developing the jobs. As we know, there's no job that is completely without any form of side effect. Even our normal flu, vaccine that we get against flu.
Mm,
Some people react more; they get really, tired and everything. But its efficacy is not in doubt. So, from my perspective, so I believe in the science, and I believe that the world scientists, I've got a lot of respect for them, and on this, I believe that they've got the finance in terms of it is safe, to go out there and get the jobs. That's the only scientific way we can get out of these persistent lockdowns, and I will
mm,
encourage people. To keep their ideas to themselves, because those ideas they are spreading is based on nothing but their ignorance, if I may put it that way. They just based on nothing other than ignorance, and they are using that kind of whatever platform they have, contributing to loss of lives, because some
mm,
people gullibly believe in some of those conspiracy theories. So my message is that those that are out there, they are qualified to receive their jobs. Please go out there and get your jobs. They save lives, and we can get out of this lockdown,
mm.
as soon as possible.
All right. Yep. What are your thoughts? Thanks, Wally, for that. What are your thoughts, Elvis? We can't hear
Like Wale,
you.
I also believe in I also believe in science, but the concern I had as initially as an individual stemmed from the fact that we also had people from positions of authority, medical doctors and the likes, making comments that sort of dissuade people from going in to take these jabs. I know there's an instance of one of the videos I saw, and what was raised in that video was the fact that the vaccine hasn't undergone enough testing, and that the producers of these vaccines only applied for emergency use authorization, hadn't gone through the normal process. And look, these were some of the concerns that I had. I had initially booked in a date to go in on, it should have been on Monday. Trust me, I was on the verge. Once I made that booking, I saw this other video from a doctor in Chicago saying all sorts of things about the job, and I became discouraged again. Honestly, I was on the verge of canceling my appointment. So the damage that these stories do to the psyche of individuals, cannot be taken for granted. I am a case in point. I mean, I was literally going to, make that phone call to say, look, I'm not going to turn up, give that slot to someone else. So, but after having conversations with, other friends and people who are also knowledgeable in this area, I became convinced that I should go in and actually take the job. So this conspiracy theories we're seeing out there is doing more harm than good, and actually getting through to people and making them stall in taking those decisions. So like Wale said, I'll encourage everyone to go out there and do the right thing. I mean, it's better to have something than not have anything, especially for someone like myself who on a daily basis I go into 5-10 homes in the course of doing my job. So I'm high risk, so I thought about it, and I thought, look, it's just like insurance. When I go out there, I'm a bit more careful. It's not like when I get the job I'm going to be careless, but I'll have some level of confidence that at least I've got something that will protect me should I come into contact with the virus. So I encourage everyone to do the same. I know a few of my friends, if they are watching, will be surprised, because only 2 weeks ago I was hell-bent on, look, I'm not going to take it, but the only thing that is constant in life is change. So I've changed.
Exactly.
If you're there going, oh, Elvis, is that you? It is me.
And one thing last weekend, while I'm not sure if you're there, Yoruba Association organized information night for Yoruba Heritage Group. They organized, so they had this information session talking about COVID, and they had 3 doctors that presented at this event, trying to educate people about COVID. And you cannot imagine the kind of questions that were coming out from people during this presentation. And these questions are coming from educated people. So which means for us to make a decision, we need to be equipped with the right information. So even though we didn't plan to do this today, to talk about this, so we may still organize one of our shows to actually focus on COVID and the vaccines and all that, because I heard that it's only 7% that are taking the injection in Nigeria. Meanwhile, here we are only 22, 23, 24 million people. Now 15% have already taken the vaccine. Nigeria with over 210 million people, only 5%, 5 to 7%. So which means that the damage, what is stopping people? Remember when the virus initially started, the person in the arms of affair, who you can regard to as the leader of the first man of the world, his stance kind of turned people away from actually believing that there is this virus is real, number one. Number two, when they started producing the vaccine, all his stance and his words were against the vaccine. So many people died. And it's not just in the United States, because we, in one way or the other, people look up to US. So whatever comes out from there, people kind of absorb it, they accept it. Now, some of our pastors, I'll name one actually, Pastor Oyakilome, is it? Chris Oyakilome, his words and everything, his preaching and everything were against taking the vaccine. So many people listen to their pastors. So now there is this thing against the vaccine. Some people actually still didn't believe that there is COVID. So how can you now believe that this vaccine that they are producing is going to help you when you don't even believe that there is COVID? So, and all the people that were supposed to be the one helping people that were so much against it because of whatever reason that they do have, which we really don't know. It's only time that can tell. So I think in one of these days we need to do a bit more by inviting some doctors to come and we use this platform to educate. So we may have to do this.
And just to add, Vicky, one last thing, and that's the most disturbing thing about it. It's where these information are emanating from. They come from positions of authority, people who
exactly
people listen to. In the case of Trump, for instance, he dissuaded people. He made it look like no, it was a fluke, and dissuaded people from taking top down on the vaccine when it came out. Guess what? He got the vaccine as far back as January, and he didn't go back to tell these people, I've taken it.
Yeah, he had already taken it.
Going to take the
say. He protected himself. So, and even when he had the virus, he had a first class treatment. He had it all. So getting out of that and not telling people exactly what happened made people to believe that, it was just, he only spent a few days in there, so it wasn't a big deal. So now we have so many conspiracy what?
Conspiracies, conspiracy theories.
Conspiracy theories going all over the place, taking a little bit of the truth and put so much lies into it. It's just so, you listen to some people and you just feel like, oh my goodness, what is going on? And I'm so sorry to say this, if there's anybody out there, but this is just my observation. Don't let me go there. Let's leave it at that, because I will be stepping on some people's toes. Let me leave it there. So now last week, do you have anything to say about this, Wale?
No, nothing more to say.
All right. So last week, while Wale was busy trying to sort out his technical problems and he was sweating, we we started a new segment. So today we have two people that we will be wishing happy birthday to. It's their birthday this week. So the first one is Mrs. Ndidi Fashogun. It's a birthday today. Oh, today or yesterday? Today. So let's wish happy birthday. Yeah. So, Mrs. Ndidi Fashogbo that lives here in Melbourne, we want to wish you a happy birthday and many happy returns. That's all. That's from us, the Nigeria We Want family.
Happy birthday, Ndidi Fashogbo.
Happy birthday, Ezuwa Ndidi.
And the second person is
happy birthday
So, Mrs. Shukura Chino, we wish you many happy returns of the day. So that is the two that we chose to wish happy birthday today. Um, so, how about you guys? Wish her happy birthday, and before we move on.
Happy birthday, Ajia Ogushino.
Happy birthday, Elijah. Many more years to come in good health and, of course, in
Amen.
wealth.
Amen. So every session, every show, we will be um, wishing or doing birthday shout out to people that sent us pictures earlier on. So it's very important if you want us to wish anyone, your family member, your husband, your wife, your children, your colleague, your friends, happy birthday, you just need to contact us and send us some picture and we will get everything ready to wish them a happy birthday. Everyone deserves to be celebrated. So that is that segment is done for today. Thank you, Ajia, and thank you for indeed this friend that asked us to wish her a happy birthday. Thank you, everyone. So, Mr. Wale and Elvis, let's quickly run through what is trending. Okay. Um, Igboho, what happened there? Wale, any updates there?
I don't have much on
That's my
that.
that's my update.
It's
Pardon?
still,
Go on, Wale.
yeah, no, please go ahead because I've not, to be honest, I've not really followed that much. So Elvis, you can just take over. I know he's still in Benin Republic, uh, but the extent of the legal procedure and what is really going on, I haven't paid much attention to that, this week. So if you've got any update on that, please feel free to provide, Elvis.
All right. So my update is not fully 100% in that regard, but still related to Igboho one way or the other. I haven't got much to say as per his, trial in the Republic of Benin. However, in Nigeria, where some of his followers were arrested, I think about 12 of them, um, the courts compelled the DSS to produce those followers who have been in incarceration since that invasion of Igboho's home. And these guys were produced in court 8 out of 12 of them. Guess what? No charges were profiled against these individuals, and they got, the judge ordered that they released. They were granted bail, of course, under very stringent conditions. But the good thing is, the courts have said yes, they are eligible for bail. As far as the DSS do not have any charges against these guys, you should just let them go. Now, the other four are still there. They reckon the DSS is saying, oh, yeah, these are the ones that are actually involved and, yeah, should be facing some charges. But as of this moment, no charges have also been profiled. But the good thing is, 8 out of the 12 have been granted bail. Yeah, that's my update, and that's what's trending for me.
Fantastic. Thank you for that update. Now, Wale, any update from your side?
Not much. I've been watching Olympics, so that has really been,
Mm,
my major updates. Just enjoying the global events, and also, today, with the lockdown, I saw a movie on Netflix. It's about Nigeria. Uh, it is titled 1976. So
mm,
it's a story about a political event that led to the assassination of, the head of state, General Murtala Mohammed, on 13th of February 1976. So it's a good movie. I highly recommend it to people that want to follow history and politics in Nigeria. I recommended it to Elvis earlier before we came on board for him to
mm,
check it out on
mm,
Netflix. Yeah.
mm. All
So,
right. So I've got two here. Just one actually. So this is the one.
Yes, indeed, it's me you saw in the picture. And our leader that I went to see, it's really just around all of the rumors that was flying around. And you saw the man. He's well, he's healthy. And we conversed, we talked about what is happening in our party, what is happening in the nation, and to just say to him that, all is well. And I went to see things for myself. So just to ensure that, you are all very nice gentlemen of the press. You will not report fake news. So it's really just to put your mind and put your, heart at rest that there's nothing for us to worry about.
So that's about your man, Wally, Mr. Tinubu. Chief Tinubu, Dr. Tinubu. So what are your thoughts about that? Some people said he's dead and gone. Some people said he's very sick. But here we are, Governor Sanwo-Olu is saying he's hale and healthy. So what are your thoughts?
Yeah, well, we just saw the video. The video we saw, Governor Sanwo-Olu of Lagos State in a place, like a sitting room, and the person next to him in the video we just saw is the Jagaban himself, Ashwaju Bola Ahmed Tinubu. So I believe they've been able to put that rumor, away that, the man, despite the rumor, from what we can see in that video, I believe it is genuine. So I believe that, well, the man is still alive, and we wish him long life. And yeah.
All right. Any addition, Mr. Elvis?
Oh, well, Vicky, we've seen nothing can be more empirical than what we saw in the video. So he's alive. So, and this is not the first time anyway. Such rumors have been spread about, Jagaban. This is about maybe the third or the fourth time we've heard such rumors. So obviously, it should be the handwork of his political opponents or enemies or wherever the source is from. But, we know he's alive. So that's the bottom line.
That's amazing.
Yeah.
All right. Let's get into today's show. So I will, before I pass it on to Wale, let's check this out.
With just hours to the commencement of the track and field events in Tokyo, the Athletics Integrity Unit reveals that 18 athletes are not eligible to compete because the minimum testing requirement under Rule 15 of the anti-doping rules were not met by Category A federations. Unfortunately, Nigeria is the most affected country, with 10 athletes dropped.
Well, the issues about the missed test or the period of test that they should have done for everybody, the best way to do it is we have a registered, to keep our national agency, anti-doping agency, on prim and proper standards so that they have enough funds to run this test over the period of time.
Debutantes in the track and field events for Nigeria, triple jumper Ruth Usora, Annette Echikunwoke for hammer throw, Chioma Onyekwere for discus, and some athletes listed in the relay events did not make it despite working hard to qualify for the games.
I don't think this has happened anywhere in the world before. I've never heard of this story before, that you get to the games and you're not competing because of the incompetence of the people that are meant to be in charge. It's unfortunate. I'm devastated for the guys that are there who are meant to be in the right frame of mind to compete.
Let me even leave ministry and federation. The coaches, they know the athletes have qualified. Are you telling me my athletes will be in the Olympic team? And I know that if it doesn't go for like 3 out of competition test, he won't be eligible. I'm a coach, and I will not know that.
With Team Nigeria yet to make its mark at the ongoing games, the recent development has put a dent on the hopes for medals in the sports that have produced 13 of the 25 medals won by Nigeria at the Olympic Games.
That's yours now.
Thank you very much for that introduction. From that introduction, we saw that some athletes, they missed out simply because they required, testing under the doping program. They were not met, and as a result, they missed out of competition. So tonight we'll be talking about Nigeria at the Olympics, good memories and disappointment. A bit of history. Nigeria first, participated in Olympics in 1952. Helsinki Olympics in 1952, and since then, Nigeria has appeared in total of 18 games, 18 Olympic games. And to put this into perspective, because that is what we do here, we try to break these things down. So since 1952, Nigeria first appeared in the Olympics. But as part of those research for today's show, I was shocked that since 1952, we've only won a total of 27 medals at the Olympics. And the breakdown, we've won 3 gold medals, 10 silver medals, and 14 bronze medals. And, that includes the ongoing Tokyo Games that is about to round up in the next couple of days. So in total, we've won 27 medals at the Olympics since 1952. So we can begin to ask, can a nation of over 200 million people with predominantly young people, millions of young population, can we do better in terms of being competitive at the games? How can we actually as a nation invest more in sports in order for us to be more competitive, not only at the Olympic Games, but also at other international meets? So that is what we'll be focusing on, tonight's, and just to get it rolling, to get the ball rolling. I will actually start with Elvis. Elvis, what's your take of the Nigeria performance at the ongoing Tokyo 2020 Olympic Games?
Well, Wale, honestly, the performance is anything but abysmal. It's quite disheartening to see that a country that used, even though you reeled it out there, 28 medals since 1952, but there was a time we used to be better than this. At the moment, we've only got 2 medals. One in we received a bronze medal in long jump. The other one is a silver medal in wrestling. Other than these 2 medals, not we can't boast of any other thing. I mean, and we're talking of a contingent of about 58 athletes. Yeah. I mean, 10 out of 23 10 out of 23 athletes were disqualified due to not, as we saw in the video, not undergoing enough doping tests as required by the Olympics, the organizers of the Olympics event. But a lot of this goes, speaks to, the way our government and the Olympic Committee, have handled things. They actually made it difficult for these athletes to perform. 2 medals so far is really poor performance, if you ask me. I know we could do a lot, we could do a lot to achieve better results. And again, some of this come down to what is quite common in the country, and I've heard this, um, the attitude of not letting the most qualified people attend the games, where we've also had instances where you're allowing people based on who they know, you front them to go and represent the country in this event, and this is the sort of results you get when confronted with that sort of scenario. And I hope those who are in charge have learned a thing or two from this, and this will help them make better decisions and do things better in future, so that we can achieve and attain better results, better outcome that we're known for. Yeah, so it's this is a very discouraging result at the moment. I don't know whether anything is going to change. The Olympics is almost coming to an end, but yeah, it's a very poor performance we put up at this stage here.
Thank Elvis. And prior to the Olympics, and we saw a glimmer of hope. We saw the basketball, for example, the men basketball team.
Yeah,
They have
I'll show you. There's a video of that.
Okay,
Um,
so they were promising, in their pre-Olympic games. They play against the US, they play against Australia. They won two out of their three, pre-games, pre-Olympic games. They won against United States, they won against Argentina, and they lost against in Australia. And then people were so jubilant that wow, we've got it. We're going to be very dominant at the at the basketball event. But that really, up, quickly evaporated when we lost to Australia. Which to me was just a game. I just had to relax and say, okay, which one should I go for here now? So
We
let the
lost
best,
to us. We lost to us.
exactly. So let the best team won, and
Yeah.
obviously the best team won. Um, so I will move to Dr. Vicky now, and Elvis briefly touched on what I wanted to ask. He mentioned the fact that one of our problems is that most times we don't pick the best of our athletes or the best of our sport person, to represent us in soccer or what we call football, on all other events. It is most time who and not what you can actually offer. So, but apart from that obvious, consideration, in your opinion, what are all the factors that you think are responsible for this dwindling kind of performance of Nigerian Nigerian athletes at Olympics and other international sports events?
to even have anyone representing Nigeria, I commend all those athletes that put their hands up to say, okay, we will represent this country. Because the question is the country actually working for them? The people who are supposed to be looking after their interest, are they doing enough to look after them? So for these guys, all of them, to still put so much work into it in order to win a medal. You see them practicing not for 1 year, not for 2 months, years. It started after the last Olympic, which was 4 years ago. 5 years ago now,
5 years
right?
ago, yeah,
5 years ago.
Rio
Yeah,
2016, yeah.
they've been practicing. They've been practicing. They've been practicing, which means, and most of the people, you could see their names. They're from the eastern side. Most of the people representing Nigeria, even though Nigerian government hasn't been really good to them. For them to even say, yes, I want to go and run for Nigeria. I want to go and do boxing and represent Nigeria. I actually commend them. Number one. Then number two, those athletes from places like here, from places like United States, government is, is looking after them. They are being paid. They have lots and lots of sponsors. What's going on with ours? Well, those that goes to that are senators, for instance, they just don't go there to represent their people and just sit down and not be paid. They get paid a lot of money. Why? What is stopping these people? And I heard something. I heard that Puma, like
The sports company, yeah.
company, actually sponsors our athletes. So they have bags full of tops and pants and shoes and drink bottle and towels and all that. Do you know that the organizers, those people in the helms of our fair that were supposed to look after the athletes, refused? They didn't give them these bags. They didn't give them the bags. No wonder. I will play this right now.
I know the one you want to play, but
Yeah, honestly, it breaks someone's heart. This one. Check it out.
When you made the Olympic finals, but you only have one jersey.
Isn't that sad? Isn't that sad? I commend these people. You want them to do better, but you represent, you put in your best, but who you are doing it for doesn't really appreciate it. So there's no, they're not patting them on the back. They're not, but they're still trying their best. So as far as I'm concerned, the fact that they put their hands up is more than enough for me.
thank you very much. And by all means, we are with athletes. They are there sweating out, putting out their best. We've had a few misses. We had Amushon. I remember I saw her final in the 100 meters, although she came fourth. I was desperately praying and hoping she could at least get bronze medal because she was so close. But she missed out, and we've had a few misses as well. But fundamentally, we don't like to really criticize just for the sake of criticism. But it's just a matter of fact, if you've got someone, that big guy, that qualified for the finals of the shot put and the Olympics games, and he had to really pretty much and wash his own jersey because they only gave him one, only to discover some days later that they had bags full of jerseys, water bottles. And I read as well that Puma is going to, sue Nigeria. So you just wonder that who is actually running that country? Who is running sport administrators? Who is in charge in so many areas? Even small things that in the past could be a major distraction in terms of people focusing on that, at least for about 3 weeks without talking politics. We're failing to do that. We're failing the athletes and we're failing them. And no wonder you begin to ask, why are some of these people changing? I saw one. there was one I saw in the 100 meters, and we saw a guy, Bafemi or something like that, running for Qatar. And we saw a couple of other guys running for different places. And you
There's a
see
girl that played basketball for Japan.
and you see a lot of young athletes, which obviously you see their names. You can say this one a Yoruba person, this one a Igbo person, and they are all competing for different countries across the globe. And people are still shocked why they make those decisions to throw away green and white and compete for other countries. Do you have anything to say on that, Elvis, before I go to the next question?
Oh yeah, you've covered it all, Wale. You've done justice to it. I just wish the administrators can do something better than they're doing now. I mean, it's really disheartening. It's crazy. I mean, where is that going to end up anyway? Justice and water bottles, that you're ideally supposed to hand over to your athletes that are going to represent you. Anyway, he's done a good job by throwing them under the bus and making that video and letting the world see and know what's actually going on with the committee, the sports administrators in Nigeria. I mean, how long is this going to continue? People don't just have conscience. Every opportunity for them is an opportunity to you know, to do something wrong or to make money. I don't know how they're going to make money from holding back those dresses. I really don't know. But yeah, it's not on. It's not on. Things have got to be done differently, and for good.
Thank you, Elvis. But we've had good memories at the Olympics, despite all the doom and gloom in recent years. We've really had good moments at the Olympics, and I want us to reflect on that as well. I want us to share those personal things that we remember, about the Olympics and those good memories. I'll start with you, Elvis. What are your memorable moments of Nigeria at the Olympics? What can you think of that, moment that you say, wow, I really, really love that?
Yeah, Wale, yeah, that's the most painful thing about this, what we're discussing tonight. We've come from a position of grace to grass. I can recall back in the days, the Olympics was something we used to look up to, and Nigeria used to make a very strong presence at every Olympics event. Like in the 80s when I was growing up, I can't forget the days of Mary Onyali, Choma Ajunwa,
Yep.
Peter Koyegwachi,
Yep.
Falila
The boxer.
Togunkoya.
Ogunkoya. Yep.
Yeah, Chidi Imo, Jerry
Chidi
Okoye,
Imo, Sunday Uti.
Sunday Uti, Olakpade Adenike, the likes of, the
Inosete Bunike
Ezanwa brothers, Sunday Bunike and the rest.
is on the, Vincent Bunike.
Exactly. These were the days that we really used to do well at the Olympics. You will see our guys at the tracks and field, our women when they do their 100 meters, when they do their what's this other one? The one you have 4 people, the relay race.
4 by 100, yeah, 4 by 100 relay,
yeah. Something 400 meters, yeah, something we used to look up to. And I know, Wale, you were talking about the soccer event. That was also at the Olympics, isn't it?
Yeah. The 90. Look, if I may share that, I think my best memory up to now would be the 1996 at Atlanta Olympics. It was the football event. Nigeria won gold. That was Kanu Nwankwo, Tijani Babangida, and the rest. Nigeria won gold. They play against Argentina in the finals. We won 2-1. But to me, that wasn't the big thing for me in that competition. Was in the semi-final when Nigeria played against Brazil, and we're 3-1 down, and everyone thought it was all over. We're losing in the semi to a country like Brazil. For Christ's sake, we're down by 3-1. We thought it was all over. But miraculously, our boys just came from nowhere and turned the game around. 3-1, 3-2, 3-3. And then that was the time we see what they call the sudden death. That if you are in extra times, in an extra time of play, and the opponent scores, that is it. You won't go into penalties. And we had Kano Nwako with his mesmerizing dribble, and just did all his magic. Before you know it, it was 4-3, and we won against almighty Brazil in the semi-final. And just winning the gold against Argentina was just like icing on the cake. For me, the best memory at the Olympics for me up to today was that match in Atlanta 1996 Olympic Games, and it's still something I can still go to YouTube 100 times and watch that highlights. So Vicky, what are your recollections? What are your memories about Olympics? What can you remember?
Honestly, I can't remember much, but the basketball that we played just before this Olympic, the real Olympics started, that just made my heart to, fill with joy, and I was so into it that I watched the Olympic one, the ones that we played with US and all that, of course, disappointed. But that really made my heart, at least for that day, I felt so good about my country that yes, that wow, to have won against US, that's a big deal. But of course, we did go far with it, which is very disappointing. But of course, what can we do?
I think we were in a tough group. I think we could have done a bit better if you were more in a better group. I think that group was tough, and I think the pre-Olympic Games, just about a week or two, really, I think we sent a message to our opponents to really get prepared, and I think that was what they did. I would think that probably we should have just maintained our low profile and probably surprise the teams at the
And give them a
Olympics.
shock at the
And
real
give them a
game.
shock because we beat Argentina and the US, and then that was they were very top, teams, and that was, well, we can't joke around with these Nigerians.
Exactly.
I think that was what really happened. But I'll still remember, every goal, every participation in Olympics, we give kudos to them for what they've done. But I still want to recognize we've had 3 gold medals that I can remember. Shoma Juan, who is now a assistant commissioner of police, she won our first individual gold medal at the Olympics. That was in 1996. It was in the long jump event. And there was a strong resemblance between what she did and what Ese Brume, what she did at the ongoing Olympics, where she took bronze. In 1996, Shioma, our first jump, won at the gold. After they have three jumps, she had the first jump, and then no one in all the they couldn't beat that, and that was very close for Ese Brume as well. Ese Brume had her first jump, which was 6.97 on top of because I saw it. I was working from home and going back and forth watching telly. She had this 6.97, and that 6.97 was there up to there were 3 more jobs to go. There was this girl, the world champion from Germany, and there's the American also, 3 of them. And then in the last jump, the world champion from Germany proved a point why she's the world champion. She jumped 7.00 meters. Yeah.
And while it talk, go on. Yeah, when you finish.
Yeah. So, and then they did all their calculation, and then she won bronze. The American won, silver, and obviously the German, took. But I was thinking about another Shioma Juma moment. I thought we were going to get gold there, but bronze for SS effort was also brilliant.
Wow.
Go ahead, Elvis.
Yeah, awesome. So again, still talking about memories and why I feel our performance is abysmal at this stage. I still remember in 1984 as well, Peter Ponyogwachi, the boxer, in the featherweight category, also won a silver medal for Nigeria in that competition. You know, these were the days, you know, our guys were on fire. And not like they are not now, but I think it's a situation where the managers of the organizing committee members, you know, are not, you know, doing what they are required to do. I still remember Oliver Orok. Do you remember Orok? Oliver, the weightlifter. Oliver Orok in 1984 as well gave us a gold medal in 1984 Olympics. I think, yeah, he lifted, it was 172 kg he lifted, and he won that competition. So these were the days of glory, you know, like you're talking about this Olympics. That particular year, we had, you know, a lot of Nigerian athletes do so well and came back with a lot of medals. You Out of the 28 who won throughout the period, you know, I will not be surprised if 5 or 6 or 8 of them were won in that year alone in 1984. So yeah, really great memories. I can still visualize these guys, you know, the Onyogwachis, the Oroks, and you know, it's you know something, you know, something to be proud of. To say, yeah, our guys really did well in the days, and we can still do better. We can still do better. That's who we were. This what we're seeing currently is not who we are. I know we have people who can deliver the goods, who can do better. Only, you know, the management or the coaches or whoever is in charge of this side of things needs to do better, and then hopefully we can return to our old glory. Yeah.
Thank you very much. And I'll go to Vicky now. You know, Vicky on many occasions on this program has said that you don't forget why. You know, why you do something. That's no matter what you do, you got to remember yourself. You got to remind yourself why. And why? So I think that this is for our administrators. Why do we take people to Olympics other than is to compete and everything? Because it's just beyond the competition. Olympics is a measure of supremacy. If you look at the medal tally, you will see who is who in the world. So you will see the politics side of it. You will see who is who in the world. You will see China there, and you see America.
Trying to prove that point that this is where I belong.
This is where I belong. And you see US, you know, fighting, and you see, and you see Russia, Great Britain, you
Australia.
see that. And you see that, it's a very big statement of countries announcing themselves that we've arrived at the world stage. So talking about why we do things, what do you think we can do? Like strategic planning to really do better. I'll use Australia for example. Australia, we invest a lot in
sports,
in swimming. For more, let me narrow it down to swimming, because they know that they stand better chance of getting more medals, and not just medals, gold medals in those in swimming events. And after London Olympics, which wasn't really great for Australia in terms of the expectations, and they went back to the drawing board, and we can see, what they were able to achieve at these current Olympics. What can we do? If you were to advise our sport administrators, what can we really do in terms of, can we, and my question is most specifically around, there are areas that we think we're good at, but we are not doing well. Can we even look into other areas where we can do better?
I believe that the way our athletes performed is a reflection of what is going on in the country itself. It is a reflection. No matter what, so all sorts will be playing up in the athlete's mind as to what is going on in that place. So it comes back to who we are as a country. It comes back to how those athletes are being treated. You see, there are things that we need to fix first. We want these guys to perform. We can't really And if you go back and see, like the guy, discus guy, the guy that won bronze for us in discus, that guy, I don't think, according to Elvis, because I still don't know where he's from. He's a Nigerian, but that lives somewhere in US or UK. I'm not sure which one. So these guys, they left whatever they were doing to come and represent the country. The country itself, if things are not getting fixed there, it's going to it's going. There's no way you can separate sports from what is going on in the country. That is what I'm saying. You can't take it away and you expect people to perform really well. We're talking about things, that these guys need that they didn't even give to them. Jerseys, pants, water bottle that they need to be able to perform. Imagine somebody practicing discourse all day long, practicing, sweating, and it's very hot right now in Japan.
Japan, yeah.
So doing that with only one jersey for 3 weeks, to be able to practice all day, to be able to do this, to be able to do this, and he had to go back to his room and first of all and wash his jersey before he goes to bed. And you expect the guy to perform well. I mean,
psychological trauma.
Exactly. This is a guy who has been practicing all day in the sun. It's extremely hot right now, and he's been practicing. Now he's supposed to go home straight and have something to eat and sleep, but he still have to wash his jersey, and you expect him to perform. I think I don't know what was going through his mind the day he did the video. That look at me, oh, look at me. Yeah, it was frustrated. So
it must be the case of girl.
I mean, you look at me now. I have to wash my jersey. I only have one jersey. It was doing it as a joke on TikTok, but there's something in there that like now, somebody's head need to roll over this, but nothing will happen, and next time they will do it worse. You cannot separate all this from whatever is going on in the country. We can go back to the drawing board. We can do whatever. But if somebody is 2 people, 3 people, even the head of the Olympic Committee in Nigeria, and everybody that is there making decisions as to how many people we take, who do we take, and all those people, they need to take them to task over this. Somebody needs to pay for this so that it will prevent something like this happening next time. So there are so many things that is happening that kind of affected this guy, that they couldn't perform the way they could have performed. And honestly, I don't blame them at all. For them to even have done it, they've done a good job. So if we're going to go back to the drawing board, we're not just going to it's not going to just be about the Olympic team. We're going to do the drawing board for the whole system. Pata pata.
Thank you. And before I go to Elvis, you've covered it that so we're picking on one very microcosm part of the whole system. We're talking about sports. When the head is rotting, what happens to the whole body? So
Exactly.
we're just picking one part and we're expecting, miracle. But on a lighter note, I saw a guy, he posted something on Facebook, and he was just talking about this abysmal performance as well. And the guy was joking up all the area boys with the Lagos and all the bus stops across Nigeria, that we can't even get a good boxer to even all these area boys fighting and boxing every day over for me 20 naira me, for me 20 naira me, or for me 30 naira me, just fighting. In Lagos and everywhere, that we're unable to even get someone from the streets, to train them and turn them to boxers. I thought that was really funny. So moving forward, time is fast spent. So we look at we don't just talk about problems. We try in our own way to profile some solutions. How can we look at public-private partnership in most of the countries that we see as gold standards in terms of performance? It's not done alone by the government. They have a lot of private-public partnerships, sponsorship deals, and everything. What can we really do in that space so that can we look into public-private partnership and see how that can lift sports in general and our participation in future Olympics? I'll start with you, Elvis.
Wale, I'm not sure that that's non-existent already in Nigeria, because I recall back in the days when we watch sporting events on TV, you will also see, even at the stadiums, you also see the billboards of different private companies sponsoring that event. So they've always been there. I believe they've always been there, and but the bigger picture is relative to what Vicky mentioned there. It's not so much about having these private companies supporting the sporting industry. It's also those who are in positions of authority, or those who are charged with the responsibility of managing the sporting space, doing the right thing as well. Just take for instance, Puma donated, as we've said here tonight, tons of bags of filled with sporting equipment. What did the guys do? They give out one jersey out, and kept the rest of it. So, what is to say that even the monies that come from these private companies will not end up in individual pockets? So that space need to be, yeah, that space need to be taken care of. First of all, people need to show that they have the genuineness of purpose and the sincerity of heart to wanting to do the right thing. For example, if someone says what's happened with this Puma deal, tell me what is going to motivate a company that is doing business in Nigeria to want to partner with this sort of individuals who are running this show to do something for our sporting industry. So that space needs to be taken care of, first of all. I mean, they've always been there, like I said earlier. When we watch those sporting events, wherever you see their billboards, this company, that company, sponsoring this, sponsoring that. So they've always been there. But it's whether the money, they are contributing towards this area is being put to good use is another question. Because when they write that check, someone receives it. Is that person actually using that money judiciously? That's a big question, like Vicky stated here, when the head is rotten, you don't expect anything better from the body. I mean, Sydney Summer Olympics, I think it was was it in 2000?
It was in 2000, Sydney Olympics, yeah.
2000. Wale, I tell you, I know people who came into Australia as coming in to represent Nigeria in that competition. Do you know what really happened there? Those who qualified to come and represent the country were not given the passports. Rather, they used other individuals to bear their names to come into Australia. Just tell me. Whereas, I put those who were supposed to come and represent the country, who could perform, the right set of athletes, who had the skills and had the training, didn't come. These other guys just, because they know one person who knows the other, they paid some money and someone, give them somebody's go and make a passport in this name, and then you go with the contingent, and that's how they ended up in Australia. So that space needs to be cleaned. Vicky just said heads need to roll. Let's watch, see whether any heads will roll. But I doubt that anything is going to happen. So until they begin to show that, look, we're serious about this. This is serious business for us, and we need to see our country better than what it used to be like in the 80s that I'm aware of. They did so well in the 80s, in the 90s. We want to return this country to that level or even better than what we had then until they make that conscious decision and actually mean it. Honestly, you end up with a situation when those monies keep ending in private pockets. That's yeah, that's what I think. But as to whether we have private government private partnership in this area, I think it's been there for a long time. It's not new. It's not something that's going to happen anew.
Thanks, Elvis. Anything to add on private partner, public-private partnership, Dr. Vicky? Nothing. Okay.
Travis had said it all. If
Okay.
I if I if I if I'm been sponsoring them and I hear about this Puma thing, honestly, I will withdraw my sponsorship.
Your sponsorship.
Yeah,
It's
it
as simple
says
as
a
that.
lot about them. It says a lot about the decision makers that they don't have the right people there. And you know what? If everything stinks, if we have a commissioner of police now being charged with all these charges, come on, it's a stain on the whole country. It's a stain on us. So everywhere you look, where would you look and not see all this dirt? It's sad. So private companies, if there are still any, I don't know. It's been a long time now. If they still have any, I'm sure those people will be thinking again that what are we doing? Is it not money being thrown into some private, some other people's pockets?
Thank you. So on that note, we go through our final words. I'll quickly do my final words and hand over to Elvis. My final word is just a big shout out to all those courageous men and women that, despite all odds about the country called Nigeria, they made conscious decision to represent the country in their green, white, green. So they've done well. They put on their best. In particular, to the ladies that fought hard despite against all odds and were able to win medals. Particularly Ese Brume. She won bronze in the long jump, as we said earlier. And to Blessing Oborodudu, she won silver in the wrestling events. Congratulations for making us proud, and hopefully we start now in preparation for Paris Games, which is in 3 years in 2024. Over to you, Elvis.
Oh yes, thanks, Wale. Yeah, just in addition to Wale's comments, I wouldn't also forget the 10 disqualified candidates, I mean,
Okay.
athletes who put in the hard work, did the hard yard to get to where they were supposed to be, but only because of, somebody's inaction, you weren't given the opportunity to perform. Look, it's not the end of the world. I'm sure there are better opportunities out there. You still have a chance to prove yourselves, God willing, in the future. And to those who, the sports administrators, this is probably a good place for you to have a rethink and make the conscious decisions to do things better going forward. I'll end it on that note.
Thank you, Elvis. Over to you, Dr. Vicky.
All right. Thank you, guys. Thank you so much for tonight. When we talked about COVID vaccine and all that, I asked people to comment whether they've taken their vaccine or they're thinking about it or they are not going to. Somebody responded and she typed no, that she hasn't gotten a vaccine yet. So Omobolale Omoga, this is for you. This is from one of our sponsor. It's called Jomila Australia. It's activating skin serum for your face, so it will make your face look much younger. So instead of 40 that you are now, it will make you look 20, 22. So that is for you. Thank you for joining us this evening, and to all other viewers, Tolu Felicity, I cannot go without thanking you for being our cheerleader. Thank you so much for always being there, sharing our show. We appreciate you. And to Wale and Elvis, it's been one of those nights again. It's always good to come together to talk about what's going on. And hopefully we'll meet again next Saturday. I'm praying no more lockdown.
Of course. And Vicky, before you close the show, please, can I just add one thing? To Bolanle Omoga, who won the present tonight. So yeah, she also needs to show evidence that she's got the vaccine before you actually hand it to her. On a lighter note.
She said no. She said no. It was because when I announced it, I said whether you're getting it or you're not or whatever, just comment. And she commented. She said no. So yeah.
Okay. I guess we can first, huh?
So we'll see. Maybe when we do our show, we'll get more people to comment, and that will be people that have already taken their vaccine and they can win skin serum for their face. So yeah, it's been great evening. Thank you for coming on, and us talking about Olympics. It's been lovely. So till next Saturday, when we come back again to talk about another great topic, you have a lovely, lovely Sunday, and I will catch up with you all later. Thank you to all our viewers. God bless you all. Have a good day wherever you are. Good night, everyone. Good night, Wale. Good night, Elvis.
Yeah. Thank you.
Good night.
Yeah. Bye.
Nigeria we want. Great Nigeria. Giant of Africa. Nigeria we want. Great Nigeria. The Nigeria we want. With Vicky O Show. Yeah, me show the moon. Wale your light on. I've been see what shuku. The Nigeria we want. Great Nigeria on Vicky O Show every Saturday. The Nigeria we want, great Nigeria, giant of Africa. The Nigeria we want, great Nigeria.